A recent headline in the Australian newspaper claimed a shot black a day can keep heart attack at bay. According to the researchers, for every extra cup of coffee drunk per week, there was a 7% reduction in risk of heart failure and an 8% risk reduction for stroke. So, is this more good news for coffee lovers, or a case of be careful what you read? As the researchers explain in the media article, the data comes from observational studies showing an association between coffee consumption and heart failure and stroke. It does not prove causation. It shows that people who drank more coffee had lower rates of heart failure and stroke, not that drinking more coffee was responsible for reducing this risk. There may be other reasons why people with heart failure and those who have had a stroke drink less coffee, for example, being on fluid restrictions for medical reasons, or not being able to move independently enough to make a cup of coffee. Read more, clearing up confusion between correlation and causation. That doesn't mean you should avoid having another cup of coffee. A review of 20 observational studies from 2014 found those who drank the most coffee had longer life expectancies than those who drank the least or no coffee. Again, these studies showed correlation not causation, but the evidence to suggest coffee is good for you is mounting. How was the research conducted? This story came from an abstract of a presentation to the American Heart Association's 2017 scientific sessions on November 14. The researchers used data from more than 12,000 adults in the Framingham Heart Study to look for eating and drinking habits associated with heart disease. The study used a powerful new statistical approach called random forest machine learning methods. This uses all the individual's data to construct multiple decision trees and work out what the common patterns are when predicting their health outcomes. The researchers said this technique was a bit like the algorithms used in the marketing programs that predict our shopping behaviors. The researchers confirmed that high blood pressure, high blood cholesterol and older age increase the risk of heart disease. They also identified that higher intakes of coffee predicted a lower risk of heart failure and stroke. Lastly, the researchers created a statistical model that included the well-documented heart disease risk factors, age, sex, total and HDL, good, blood cholesterol levels, blood pressure, smoking and diabetes, that are used to calculate a person's Framingham risk score. This is a person's 10-year probability of developing cardiovascular disease, including stroke, heart failure and atherosclerosis, fatty deposits that clog arteries. This analysis found that including coffee consumption in the equation improved the accuracy of the Framingham risk score in predicting heart failure and stroke by 4%. The researchers reported finding similar trends, the 7% reduction in risk of heart failure and 8% risk reduction for stroke, in two separate studies. What does this mean?